Shalom Israel, this is your brother Mashiach, out here on the highways and hedges once again, on this beautiful and blessed day of grace and mercy given to us from Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai to prophesy the destruction of this wicked and decrepit queendom, Babylon the Great, also known as America, according to the scriptures. But I'm also out here to preach and to prophesy the gospel, which is the good news and glad tidings to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, and also to the confusion of faith, the brothers and sisters that may look like the heathen nations, which are the natural Gentiles, but their seed line goes back to Jacob, which are the biblical Israelites and the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. And today's topic is going to be entitled, Pride goeth before destruction, and in haughty spirit before a fall. But first and foremost, before we get started, let me give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. Let's turn to the east, which is to our left, and give all praises to Yahweh, whom this world ignorantly calls God, by Hashem is in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai, whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And Bahasham is in the name of the Rikah Kodash, which is the Holy Spirit that delivers us all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this truth. In the ancient Paleo-Hebrew, which is our native tongue, the Hebrew Israelites, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Now, who I learned this truth from, the vanguards of all of Israel here today. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopefully elect, the men, women, and children that serve in the Lord in sincerity and also truth, presenting their bodies as living sacrifices here in these last days, and forsaking this wicked and decrepit world, that we see on its way out of here. Continue to push. So let's get started. Pride, and that's what you Americans have. But the Lord is wiping away that pride here in these last days. As the average day American is catching nothing but pure hell. As we see America collapsing, in a depression, in a recession, circling the drain. So pride goeth before destruction. And what is going to be that destruction? World War III, which we're full-fledged in right now. It ain't no turning back. What did DJ Trump say? There's not going to be no deal. And in haughty spirit, and that's once again what you Americans have. Like your shit don't stink. Like you can't be touched. And that's what the Lord is getting ready to do. And in haughty spirit before he fall. What did the angels say in the book of Revelation? Babylon the Great is falling. It's falling. And it's become the habitation of devils. That's what's going to possess this place after nuclear annihilation, which is that destruction, which is what we're going to be getting into today. So without further ado, let's show you the reason why this is going to happen, matter of fact. Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 1. Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty. So the Lord is preparing to do what? Do a whole lot of killing. And maketh it waste. And America is going to become a wasteland. And turneth it upside down, which in reality, he's turning it right side up. Because Esau, Edom, has turned everything upside down. And scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. People are going to be on the run for their lives. But there's not going to be no escape. Judgment Day. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower. So everyone is going to get this work. As with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly emptied, singular, the land, which is speaking about Babylon the Great. And utterly spoiled. And it says in Habakkuk, because thou hast spoiled many nations. The remnant of the people shall spoil thee. That's what's coming to America. A town in the city near you. For the Lord had spoken this word. The earth mourneth. Why is the earth mourning right now? Why is everything is catching hell, crying out, languishing, meaning dying? Let's see real quick. Proverbs 29. And verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. And it's the people rejoicing here on the earth right now. They're mourning in Iran for what America just did to one of their top leaders, assassinating them. And now they're chanting death to America. So no, the earth is not rejoicing right now because the righteous are not in authority. They're not ruled. Who is the righteous? The Israelites, God's chosen people. And those gutter rats over there in Israel right now, the Israelis, Benjamin Netanyahu, that's not the Lord's chosen people. That's the reason why the earth is not rejoicing. But when the wicked, that's exactly who they are. Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald J. Trump, Putin, and the rest of these Edomite leaders. They're known as the border of wickedness in Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. But when the wicked beareth rule, that's who's in the power seat here today. That's who has the ink pen, writing your legislation and your regulations, getting ready to implement draconian measures, martial law, maritime law. Who has control over that right now? Of airspace, banning airspace. The Edomites do, because they're bearing rule right now, which is the wicked. And that's why everything is out of order, turned upside down. Everything is defiled and polluted, corrupted. That's what runs the world, corruption. You gotta be corrupt to be in the power seat. So, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So why is the earth mourning right now? Because wicked people are in the power seat, man. Which are the Edomites, the so-called white people. Back to what Isaiah the prophet was going into, Isaiah 24 and verse 4. The earth mourning, and we just got the reason why. Because the wicked is bearing rule. And faded away. Everything's growing weak, docile, dying off. Every goddamn thing, from the fowls of the heavens to the fishes of the sea, they're beaching themselves, committing suicide. To humanity, the citizens, they're committing suicide, overdosing on drugs. To the animals, I can't go one day without driving around the city, because that's my job, that's what I do, without seeing a roadkill, dead animals. And it's not just deers, it's all types of different animals, because everything is mourning and fading away. Esau's cutting down all the goddamn trees to establish, set up businesses. When we need the trees, the animals need the forests to survive. That's why it's so much goddamn roadkill, because you're taking their homes. Kind of like what you're doing with the citizens. Setting up data centers, confiscating people's homes to set up 5G and 6G towers. Sucking up and drying up all the goddamn water supply. to power these data centers. So everything is doing what? Fading away, dying. The world languished and faded away. The Haughty people, you Americans, the proud. Now you got Edomites standing on the side of the street begging for change, but they still proud as hell. When you don't roll down the window and give them something, they give you that nasty look. Like they're entitled. That's you fucking Americans, the Haughty people of the earth do languish, catching hell, peer hell, every goddamn thing. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So everything is corrupted, polluted, tainted, fake, fraud, lies, deception, deceit. Because they have transgressed the laws. When you transgress something, you go against. And what have these wicked people, the Edomites that said that they're God-chosen people, went against? God's instructions. They said a boy can be a girl can be a boy. They said you can eat whatever the hell you want to, even though the Lord said pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster is abominations. And you wonder why you Americans are sick, got cancer, diabetes, obese. Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, which is the natural order. What is the natural way with a man and a woman? To make children. But they said no, hell no. 2 men can get married. That's the natural way. They said God didn't make animals right. Let's splice the genetics and make mystery meat in a laboratory. Kill Gates. You will eat these bugs and be happy. That's not what the Lord gave us in the dietary law. You will own nothing and be happy. The Lord said, hey man, when a man has an inheritance, that's his land. But Esau says, hell no. We got documentation that, hey man, if we want to set up a data center, your inheritance belongs to us. And if you don't pay taxes on it, nigga, spick, savage, we're coming to take it any goddamn way. Matter of fact, we're gonna raise the property tax to get your ass off the land. So we can buy pennies on a dollar. So the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant, which is this book, the Holy Bible. Verse 6, therefore, had the curse devoured the earth. Now we see the reason why. You got tornadoes, 2-inch of rain, flash flooding, wildfires, earthquakes, hypersonic missiles hitting buildings. Because now the earth is cursed and it's devouring the earth. Disease outbreak, famine, pestilences, crime at an all-time high. Therefore had the curse devoured the earth. And they that dwell therein are desolate. Now everybody is seeking what? Death. Everybody want to die now. They don't want to live in this fucked up world where the wicked is bearing rule and everything is languishing, mourning, fading away. Therefore, the inhabitants of the earth are burned. So therefore, the Lord got to hit the reset button and bring thermonuclear fire and reset every goddamn thing, because everything is out of order. And few men left. Who is going to be the few men? The hopefully elect. And that's what we come out here and hope to be a part of. So we're going to continue to sigh and cry for the abominations that we see done in the midst thereof. All around us, it's nothing but folly. Now let's get to the definition of pride, because that's what goes before destruction. And we see pride at an all-time high, especially from your leader, DJ Trump. This is going to be Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach. in the Apocrypha, chapter 10, and we're going to start it off at verse 7. Matter of fact, since I said we're going to get the definition of what pride is, let's show you what the Heavenly Father hates first. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate. And why does it say 6? Because what is the man of sin's number? 666, which is all over this queendom, subliminally or outright in your face. They ain't hiding that they're Satanists no more, which is their God. So these 6 things doth the Lord hate. And yes, the Lord hates. He don't only just love. That's something that the Christian church told you. God is all love. Well, he also hates. And let's get the 6 things that he hates. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. And 7 goes into completion. So this is a complete number of things that the Lord just hates. That's filthy. A proud look. That's the number 1 thing. And what do your beloved President DJ Trump have? He said the Iranians are scum. Because they didn't let us come over there and dictate and set up our democracy when we want to, man. On our time. He's taking too goddamn long to make a deal. We're just gonna go over there and bomb them to death. And if they don't accept it and like it, they're scum. Proud look, man. When those Iranians ain't did a goddamn thing here on the shores of America for them to be strategically attacked. But they got the best of the battle. They won that proxy war with America. But that's not what they're going to tell you behind the scenes or on the media, on the news. They're going to talk like they won the war because that's that proud look that the Lord hates. Liars. A lying tongue. There you go. And that's all the American media do is lie to its citizens. They say the economy is doing great. Meanwhile, everybody's losing their jobs due to what? AI, artificial intelligence, is taking over every goddamn thing. They tell you that crime is down here in America. That's a goddamn lie, because everybody's losing their jobs, so now they're stealing everything. They tell you that America is the greatest country on earth. But meanwhile, look at the debt clock. They'll never be able to pay it back. The wealthiest nation. So a lying tongue is what you fucking Americans have. And hands that shed innocent blood, dropping bombs on innocent people. That's what America is doing. To the Palestinians, to the Iranians. Hell, we can even go back to Japan, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, when they dropped the atomic bomb. Hands that shed innocent blood. And what'd I just say? They say crime is down. Why is the police racing down the expressway? 2 of them. Because crime is at an all-time high. But that's not what the media tell you. They have you thinking that everything is just all good in America. Which is bullshit. So a lying tongue and hands that shed innocent blood. That's what they've been doing to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians since we've been over here. What happened in Mississippi with the young brother? He was found dead from these Edomites. Still shedding innocent blood. Trayvon Martin, What was the other one? The drug addict. Police put his knee on his neck. Damn, I can't remember his name. But he was all over. He was a CIA operative. 3-letter agency operative. And heart that devised wicked imaginations. What is Esau thinking about doing? Setting up a new world order, a one world system where you'll own nothing and be happy. Where you'll eat the bugs and be happy. That you'll take his C-hip, the mark of the beast, inside of your right hand or forehead and be happy. Wicked imaginations. So he can dictate and play as if he's God here on this earth. Have total control and track your every thought, your every whereabout, how much you get of anything. If you get out of line, shut your bank account off. That's why everything is going digital. Your car, your key card to get inside of your apartment complex, that shit ain't gonna work if you're speaking against the government. So wicked imaginations, because they want total control. Feet that be swift and run into mischief. TJ Trump, he's the perfect example. Why are you doing the bidding of Benjamin Netanyahu when it's not benefiting the American citizens not one bit? But meanwhile, you give all that government aid to Israel and to Ukraine. For what? War. Feet that be swift to run into mischief, wickedness. A false witness that speaketh lies. Everything that come out of these damn devils' mouth is lies. Like they said about the pandemic in 2020. These JABs was safe and effective. But meanwhile, you got millions of people that went back to the spiritual realm because they took that serpent juice, that poison. And he that soweth discord among brethren. How do you think the Bloods and the Crips got started? It started with the Wild Wild West, with these Edomites, the left wing and the right wing. That's the true Bloods and Crips. That sow discord among brethren. That's where we got that bang bang shoot 'em up from. The ops. Esau was the first goddamn murderer. The first weapon creator. We don't own no gun manufacturing companies. If he really wanted to stop the crime, the killing in the hood, stop building these motherfucking firearms and just putting them out there in the streets, in the ghettos, train stations. But no, Esau, he benefits off crime. Sowing discord among brethren. He's the one who put the dope on the streets and then lock your ass up and give you a life sentence and get free slave labor for the rest of your goddamn life from you. So the Lord, he hates everything about Esau, Edom. 6 things do the Lord hate. So now let's get to the definition of pride again. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10 and verse 7. Pride is hateful before God and man. And we just got the 6 things that the Lord hates. And that validates that the Lord hates. He has emotions just like we do. We got things we love and we got things we hate and abhor. And matter of fact, since we got the 6 things that the Lord hates, let's get who the Lord hates real quick. Because yes, he has a nationality of people that, hey man, he ain't dealing with. He ain't fucking with no more. There ain't no more repentance for these people. All the evil that they have done in the earth. And let's get it. Malachi chapter 1 and verse 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel. And that explains right there who the word is to. The Israelites. By Malachi. Let's let this sound go by. Well, it stopped. I have loved you, said the Lord. I I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? And this is speaking to Israel. That's who the Lord loves. But right now, it don't seem like he loves us because we're being judged. We're under the curses. We're in our captivity. Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau. So that's the balance of the Heavenly Father. Because he says in Proverbs that a false balance is an abomination. And we got the 6 things that the Lord hates, and 7 is an abomination. And one of those abominations is Esau. Profane, outside of the temple, man. Can't get back in. So, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. And that's a prophecy yet to come. That's going to come by the way of World War III. That's what it says in the book of Revelation. That Babylon is going to become a wilderness for desert creatures. But that's the point of who the Lord hates, Esau. The Edomites are his progenitors, which is the so-called white people here today. And not all so-called white people are Edomites. Like all so-called black people are not Israelites. You got tares. You got tares among all other nations, even the Arabs, the Chinese, the Japanese. You got Israelites among them as well, like Bruce Lee. We believe he's an Israelite. What's his name? Nipsey Hussle. They say he could be an Arab, but he could float. An Israelite. What's his name? Jamaica. Bob Marley. They say his father is an Edomite, but he could be an Israelite. And so forth and so on, man. Because we mingled and mixed our seed among all nations. Because we got scattered into all nations. So Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 7. Pride is hateful before God and man. And by both doth one commit iniquity. So that's how you commit sin. By being prideful. And that's what America has taught. All nations, man. You come over here and everybody got a proud ass look, especially these goddamn women. When they're supposed to be the most humble, shamefaced. But you look at these broads and they masculine. More muscular than men are. They got beards and goddamn tattoos all over their bodies. Thug life, got bullet holes, been in shootouts. These bitches are rough here in America. Verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, fraud, and that's Esau's monetary system. The dollar bill that's being devalued each and every day. That's why they're getting ready to usher in a digital system. When they already stole all the gold and silver, the true riches, the true wealth, and put it in vaults and gave you goddamn a debt note, which is the FRN note, the paper dollar bill, that ain't worth shit but to wipe your ass with, or to make a fire during the winter time when all the lights cut off. Injuries, what does that sound like? Slavery. Get back to work. And that's all it is here in America. Around the clock. The hamster wheel. Injuries. People die on these job sites from stress, hell, from working too hard. Goddamn heat strokes. People die every day on the job site. Injuries. And they're still dropping bombs on folks to steal their resources, steal their land. Got direct energy weapons. Got goddamn HARP devices. Knocking whole blocks and cities off so they could come in and buy up the land, pennies on the dollar. Unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, lying. The kingdom is translated from one people to another. So that's what the Lord is preparing to do. Set the righteous back in authority. That way the earth can rejoice again. Everything can be just. Because right now there's an unjust ruler in the power seat that's still injuring folks, dropping bombs on folks, stealing people resources, stealing people land, and dealing unrighteously day by day. And we're fed up. We're tired of this bullshit here in America, man. And that's why the Lord raised up the prophets to chant this bitch down. So let's get some precepts, man. And show you that prideful one, because that's what we got. Pride is hateful before the Heavenly Father. Let's show you that prideful one real quick. And then we're going to get to those unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit. Obadiah. Chapter 1, because it's just one book, but a very powerful book. Because it goes into the destruction of Edom for their pride. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord. Power concerning Edom. So it's concerning you white folks. You Caucasian race. You European nation. We have heard a rumor from the Lord. And people are talking about who? America. What they have done over there in Iran. What they have done over there in Palestine. What they have done over there in Iraq. What they have done over there in Afghanistan. What they have done to Japan. What they have done here in America to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. There's rumors all about this wicked devil, Esau. And an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye. Now those Iranians, hey, they roused up over there. Chanting, DTA. And let us rise up against her, Babylon the Great, aka America, her, Lady Liberty, and battle. World War III. That's what the Iranians, the Russians, the Chinese, that's what they're getting ready for. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Talking about the Israelis, they're surrounded by Arab nations, and also you Americans. They're sleeper cells all over America. Thou art greatly despised, because guess what America did? They opened their borders up and let all types of immigrants, migrants, refugees, illegal aliens into the country on purpose. Showing you American citizens how much they care about you. Not at all. Your safety. Meanwhile, they got the TSA at the airport looking for terrorists, patting down American citizens like they're the terrorists. Fucking bullshit, man. Thou art greatly despised. So now everybody hates America. Hell, you even got American citizens hating this place. They trying to get the hell out of Dodge. Because the way of living is not sustainable. You can't afford any goddamn thing anymore. And they realize that, hey man, you're gonna work until you drop dead. You're not even gonna enjoy your retirement because they keep raising the retirement age. Social Security, that shit ain't gonna take care of nothing. So what are you taking Social Security out of our goddamn taxes for? Out of our paychecks every week, 2 weeks, or bi-monthly, however you get paid. What the fuck are we paying taxes for? The infrastructure here in America is constantly decaying. The roads are shit. The police, you gotta be worried about goddamn getting pulled over and gunned down. They don't work for the citizens. They work against us. So what the fuck are we paying taxes for? Now they don't even need law enforcement anymore. They got flock cameras. They'll just send you a ticket in the mail for speeding. Driving with your phone in your hand. Driving without registration. Oh yeah. So now everybody hates America. Even the American citizens, man. Donald J. Trump, his ratings, his popularity has went completely down. And that's from his own citizens. They're asking Donald J. Trump, what the fuck are you doing to the country? Meanwhile, on the media and the news, he tell you everything is great. Yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Lies, deceit. The pride of thine heart had deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, Caucasian. That's what they call themselves, which means cave dwellers. They come from the rocks. Mount Petra, the Caucasus Mountains of Russia, Georgia. They come out of the caves. Mount Seir, whose habitation is high. That's why in every major city you go to, whether it's New York City, Chicago, you got what? High-rise buildings. Because that reminds them of what? The caves. Dwelling on high. Whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, which is his mind, who shall bring me down to the ground? Who's going to stop the American military? That's the pride. And that's hateful in the eyesight of the Heavenly Father. When he's the one who gave you your might. And he's going to be the one who takes it away. Isaac is the one who gave Esau his blessing, which was the sword. And that's how he would accumulate the fatness of the world. Going around raping, robbing, and murdering. Stealing people's resources, stealing people's land, stealing people's heritage, like he did the Israelites. Because those Israelis are not the biblical Israelites in that land. And the Lord is getting ready to obliterate their asses out of that land and restore the righteous back in authority. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. What is America's mascot? So who could this be speaking about? And it wasn't only the Americans. The Greeks, the Romans, they had coins with eagles, which were Edomites. And though thou set thy nest among the stars, they got some called satellites. They got some called Palantir. They got some called a Space Force. What was Elon Musk's program? X or whatever the fuck it was. Thence will I bring thee down. And that's pretty much what we're witnessing. The downfall and destruction of America. And that was an omen. The 250 year in California, that skydiver that was coming with that big American flag crashed due to a tree. Nature is fed up with you Edomites. Said the Lord. Verse 5. If thieves, what is Esau known as? If thieves, they say it's due to hard work. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You goddamn devils ain't worked hard a goddamn day in your life. A lot of you got generational wealth, old money, grandma money. But you got the nerve to tell the blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians that built up America to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, nigga. You ain't getting no reparations. Right here it says how you got your wealth. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, because that's when a thief and a robber comes, when it's nighttime. And that's what time and season we're living in, the time of the night, Esau's rulership, a kingdom of darkness. How art thou cut off? How is the Edomites going to be stopped? When they got all the wealth, they got all the resources, they got all the military equipment, they got all the technology. How are they going to be stopped? But the Lord got something for your ass. Because guess what happens when you got a bully? You go and get your cousin, you go and get your uncle, you go and get your brother, you go and get your father, and it's time to gang. What you think the BRICS nations are getting ready for? China, Russia, Iran, South Africa, Brazil. They brethren. They family members. And it's time to gang. Would they not have stolen till they had enough? Having all the resources, having all the gold and silver, having all the oil, having all the land, you will own nothing and be happy. That's not enough. Esau wants your soul. And that's what was found in Babylon, souls of man. They want everyone to take that mark. That's not enough. So they can play and think that they're God. What happens when a man has his heart's desires? Everything that money can buy. It no longer excites him. That's why they mess with little children. sex trafficking. Because having normal sex with a woman, that doesn't suffice him anymore. So therefore, when you got everything money can buy, what more do you need? Power, control. And that's what they want. Total control over humanity. How are the things of Esau searched out? Verse 6. How are his hidden things sought up? What are we doing right now? Bringing out the secrets of Esau. Through what? The Holy Bible. All the men of thy confederacy, NATO, the European organization, have brought thee even to the border. Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. They have now got America into this conflict with Iran, which is going to lead to World War III, and we're already in it. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Zelensky, who you was giving government aid to, giving him weaponry. What did he say when he came over here to America about a couple years ago? You don't know suffering or pain, but you will know it very soon. Meanwhile, you've been giving all American citizens the taxpaying dollar to him. In Israel, the biggest welfare babies. And prevailed against thee, because they're going to turn against America. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. Meanwhile, America is in over $30-something trillion worth of debt. But meanwhile, you got all this money to push and pump into Israel. You got all this money to push and pump into Ukraine. But meanwhile, everybody's destitute here in America, man. You got homeless veterans living in tents. And that's illegal now. They can't even do that. But it says, they that eat thy bread, that government aid that you've been giving to Israel, to Ukraine, and it has wounded America, have laid a wound under thee. Now, America has no choice but to go full-fledged war. Because what happens when you ain't got the money to pay somebody? Well, you can't whoop me then. You want your money, right? Come whoop me. That's what America's pretty much saying. The big bad bully, the hammer of the world. You want your money? Come whoop me. And that's what a scum would do. He's calling the Iranian leaders scum. That's what a scum would do, man, a scumbag. But let your ass not pay your car note. Let your ass not pay your electricity or water. That shit gonna be turned the fuck off. But America say, hey, no, hell no, you can't cut us off. You better open the Straits of Hormuz. China, we're gonna put all types of sanctions on you, but that's who you're in debt to. So they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him, which is the so-called white man. He's really a fool. Why would you create AI to replace your slaves when AI, robots, don't need to buy no goods? So how are you going to have an economy? What is all these citizens going to do? They're going to be looking for you to kill you. So that was a foolish mistake when you could have, man, had everybody prospering, obedient, building up your empire. Just pay them a livable wage. That's all they asked for. But Esau is so goddamn greedy, he said, we're just gonna get rid of all you citizens. We don't need your asses anymore. What do you think the citizens gonna be doing? They're gonna be looking for you. The Fortune 5 business owners. Like they did to the healthcare owners. They was putting their asses to death, right? So why the fuck would you fuck up your own system? And that's what they're doing. There's a saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I gotta take in that concept myself. When it comes to my hobby, I like vehicles. Like that. Add aftermarket parts. If it ain't broken, you ain't gotta fix it until it breaks. But there's no understanding in this white man anymore. But going back to what Sirach was going into, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, which is fraud. And let's get what Nahum, the prophet, had to say about modern day Nineveh. Nineveh was a merchant city where everybody sent their goods. Where's the biggest consumers? Here in America. This is where everybody got wealthy. Going back to Revelation chapter 18. Nahum chapter 3 and verse 1. Woe, woe means destruction, death. And that's what they're chanting over there in Iran. Against who? You guessed it, America. Woe to the bloody city, that great city, which is America. And why is it known as the bloody city? What did Christopher Columbus commit over here? Genocide against the indigenous people, which were Israelites. What are you Americans still going around the world and doing? Rape, robbing, and murdering folks. That's why this place is known as the Bloody City. It is all full of lies. The culture, the educational system, the monetary system, the religion, it's all bullshit. Lies. The founding fathers, they say the civilization started with the Greeks. A goddamn lie. If it ain't white, it ain't right. White power. It is all full of lies and robbery, and you're not white. That was a lie too. You're really red. That's what Edom means. It means red. That was a lie. a social construct to hide what? Your biblical identity. It is all full of lies and robbery. How did America get wealthy? Robbery, deception, unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. The monetary system. They stole everybody's gold and gave you a FRN note. The prey departed not. Who is the prey here in America? Who is getting their backs beat and whipped? Do I have to name a nationality of people? Or should it be goddamn common sense? Who is in chattel slavery and was preyed upon still to this day? Licking our wounds. They bring the goddamn Hispanics, the Latinos over here to get cheap slave labor, pay them pennies on a dollar. And these illegals, they don't want to leave. The prey departed not. When the Lord said what? This is not your rest. Arise ye and depart. Because this place is polluted. Micah 2 and verse 10. So the prey departed not. Niggas and spicks and savages got college degrees. They think that, hey man, we're gonna be stars, famous, celebrities, athletes, actresses. The prey departed not. When these motherfucking devils only prey upon your ignorance. You get in these goddamn deals and you gotta bend over and take it from the rear. You gotta do all types of drugs now. You gotta sacrifice one of your loved ones. You gotta sacrifice one of your children. Magic Johnson, Dwight Howard too. That nigga a Bati boy. All these athletes, all these celebrities, all these rappers are really in the closet, or they're starting to come out now. They're really moles, lesbians, dykes, because you gotta be. That's the ritual. On drugs, look at Lamar Odom. He said, man, I love cocaine. Who turned his ass out? The Kardashians. Look at what's the other Kanye West. These goddamn Edomites have fucked our people completely over, man. And it ain't gonna stop. They've been preying upon our ignorance. The noise of a whip. And that's what our people don't understand. That, yeah, you're still a slave. You're still a nigger. No matter how wealthy you get, how above your people you go, you still a nigger in their eyes. That's what they told Oprah when she went over there to Europe. They didn't even know who she was. But she's a billionaire. Michael Jordan, same way. They don't give a fuck how much money you got. Because the same way you got it, easily it could be taken. You see what happened to Diddy? You see what happened to Prince? You see what happened to Michael Jackson? You see what happened to Kobe? And the list goes on. The noise of a whip, slavery. And the noise of the rattling of the wheels and of the praising horses and of the jumping chariots, the airplanes, the trains, the Hellcats, the Maybachs, the Ferraris, the Lamborghinis. Where is all that stuff at? Why do these European companies ship their foreign vehicles over here to America? Because this is the biggest consuming nation. Verse 3. Louis, Gucci, Prada. And man, we could go on. Verse 3. The horsemen, if you're on a horseman, you're in the military, right? Lifted up both the bright sword, missiles.
that bright sword. What is America doing over there in the East right now? Lifting up the bright sword. What did Trump say? We're going to bomb them even harder since they didn't want to make a deal. We're going to hit them hard. The horsemen lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear. Because spears don't glitter. Swords are not bright and sparkle. But guess what do? Missiles do. That's that fire sparkling and shining behind it. So this is speaking ancient, but also in modern times. Because that's the only way the prophets could describe what they seen in these visions. During their time, they ain't have no nuclear missiles. So they had to describe it on how the best they could. It looked like a sword and it's sparkling. It looked like a spear and it's bright. Which I said those backwards, but it is what it is. And there is a multitude of slain, dead bodies. People are dying all over the Middle East due to this Israel and Iran war that America has stepped its foot in. And now it's doing the bidding of Benjamin Netanyahu. And a great number of carcasses, dead bodies, all over the place. Not just from war, direct energy weapons, earthquakes. They're probably detonating nukes. That earthquake in Venezuela where there's tens of thousands dead and goddamn over 60 of thousands not yet even found. They're still pulling people under the rubble as we speak right now. Wildfires all over the goddamn place. Direct energy weapons. Concentrated fire from the lasers and the satellites. That nest that they set among the stars. They're spraying different metals and chemicals, chemtrails, through the airplanes, changing up the atmosphere, making these storms, dropping forever chemicals, poisoning people. And there is none end of their corpses. Somebody die every day, B. Every second, somebody's died. If you would just sit outside and listen to how many times fire trucks, ambulance, cop cars go down the street. You heard it earlier, right here. Somebody died every second, B. There's no end. They stumble upon their corpses. Just go and drive around your city. There's multiple different funeral homes in every major city. And guess what? Every week, there's a rehearsal for a funeral. Because we're in the valley of the shadow of death, which is America. Which every which way you turn could be your last breath. The food we eat, it's poison. The water we drink, it's poison. The air we breathe, it's poison. The valley of the shadow of death. But this is going back to war, dropping bombs on folks because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot. America was once loved. Everybody wanted to get over to this place. Hell, the World Cup, when they came here to America, they was like, woo, hell yeah, the well-favored harlot. We're in America. Because they thought that this place was a place with street paved with gold. You could have your heart's desires. You could, the life opportunities is endless. So it was a well-favored harlot. The mistress of witchcrafts. But they get over here and realize that, hey man, if you want to be a star, it's something you got to do. You want to make it in Hollywood weird? Well, that's what you got to become. And there's nothing but witches and warlocks in Hollywood that sell it nations through her whoredoms, and our families through her witchcrafts. So they get you over here to America, not telling you really what happens behind closed doors. We nasty. Nasty as hell over here in this motherfucking place. Orgies, adultery, bestiality, pedophilia, moism, lesbianism. Oh yeah. Chop your rod off. Put on a dress. It's nasty as hell here, man. Verse 5, behold, I am against thee. So the Lord is against this bullshit here in America. Said the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts. Who did he say that about? The daughter of Babylon. Isaiah 47. Where he said he's gonna lift up your skirt and show all the disease, the pus, the bumps, the infections of this nasty whore. And I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. Now they see what America has done to Iran, to Palestine, and all the other nations are like the EU nations, NATO, they're turning their back on America. They said, hey man, we didn't want all this smoke with Russia. You're fucking up our deals. Now America is shamed upon. Europe is catching hell right now due to America. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee foul. America is nasty, man. And I will set thee as a gazing stock. And that's after America is destroyed. And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee. You even got American citizens trying to get the hell out of Dodge, because this life is not sustainable anymore. And it's so fucking polluted. The food, the air, the quality of life is so jacked the fuck up. Man, people are fleeing, running to get the hell out of this place. Tired of working to just goddamn pay bills and barely make ends meet. And say Nineveh, that merchant city, which is America, is laid waste. And we can't wait, man. Who will bemoan her? Who's gonna feel bad for this nasty boy? She got what she deserved. But bitch burn me, man, do away with that bitch. Whence shall I seek comforters for thee? So ain't nobody gonna comfort America from all of the plagues. Oh, motherfucker just stung you. Bit me, whatever the fuck it was. Satan got these fucking insects. They sitting there just gnawing on my leg. Fuck. Oh man. So that's all we need on that. God damn, that shit stink. A little motherfucker too. Just sitting there biting me. Satan don't like what's coming out, I guess. Say, get him. God damn. Tore my leg up. Fuck. God damn, I'm about to take an Epsom salt bath tonight. These bugs are fucking me up. So back to Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 10, and god damn, I'm itching like a motherfucker now. Sheesh, Salakia, man, my bad. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. Who is that covetous man? When you're covetous, you want everything that's not yours. What did Trump say? We want Greenland, we want Venezuela, we want Mexico, we want Colombia, we want Iran. That's a covetous man. What did he say about damn, what was it? The ocean. The Gulf of Mexico. We're gonna call it the Gulf of America. That damn devil, Trump, man, is something else. Funny as hell, but he a damn devil. We're gonna take the Gulf of Mexico and call it the Gulf of America. There's not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. Woo, and that's written too, man. Micah, check this out. Micah chapter 2. Or not 2. Oh yeah, it is. Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity. And that's what America is known as, the mystery of iniquity. And woe means destruction. And that's what Iran and the rest of the different nations are chatting against America. And work evil upon their beds. When you're in your bed, you're in your rest. Right now, we're in Esau's rulership. This is his rest. This is his kingdom. And he's doing nothing but working evil behind closed doors upon his bed. It says they can't even sleep unless they cause some to fall, meaning people to die. When the morning is light, they practice it. So when you're in bed, sleep, getting ready to wake up to go to your 9-to-5 job to slave your ass off, they're sitting up all night on drugs, high, fucking with little children, plotting about who they gonna kill next. Early morning, they practicing it. Witchcraft, sacrificing, doing rituals, praying to their God, which is Satan, to bless their sacrifices. Because it is in the power of their hand. The earth is given over into the hands of the wicked. Job chapter 9 and verse 24. And they covet fields. It's not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. What happens when you covet fields? And take them by violence. You go in, rape, rob, and murder folks. You take them by violence. Kind of like how you got America from the indigenous, the Native American Indians. You made all types of treaties and broke every last one of them, and then committed genocide and stole the land. Went over there to Israel, got Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the northern kingdom, chanted the ancient Babylonians to take them down, and now you plant yourself in our land and call yourself the Israelis, the Jewish folks. As a matter of fact, it's going to get into. And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house. We want to build data centers over there, so we got to take your home. You don't pay your property taxes, even though you paid the home off, you own it. Well, not really, because if you don't pay us taxes, we're just gonna come and take the land and the house, own the land. Because you never really truly own anything. Don't pay your insurance. Don't pay your yearly renewal, registration. You can't drive that car that you own anymore on our streets. Matter of fact, you park it in the wrong place. We're gonna come and pick it up and tow it, and you're gonna have to pay to get it out. They oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. You stole the biblical Israelites' heritage, and now you're claiming to be God-chosen people. You call yourself Jewish, right? That's our heritage. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, behold, not only our heritage, you claiming to be the Egyptians. That's who they paint themselves as on these movies. The pharaohs. They claim to be the Greeks. They claim to be the Japhet. We're not the Edomites, we're Japhet. Not so they don't only take the Israelites' heritage, all other nations as well. They'll go over to China and claim to be Moabites, practice their customs now. Because Esau is a culture vulture. They go over to Saudi Arabia and put on the Arabs' attire, or go over to Egypt and claim to and act like Egyptians, take on their gods, because that's what Esau does. He has mixed and mingled all the other nations' deities and idols, and he practices it. Yeah, like we just got. When the morning is light, they practice it. They work evil upon their beds. That witchcraft, that sorcery. So verse 3, therefore thus saith the Lord, behold, against this family, which are the Edomites, do I devise an evil. Bad times is coming to you, Edomites. From which ye shall not remove your necks. Don't you like to lynch niggers? Don't you like to lynch spics? Don't you like to lynch savages? Well, that's what the Lord is going to recompense you with. A noose is something that you hang somebody by the neck with. And that's what they love to do here in America. Still doing it to this day. You find Jake hung up truck drivers and all types of shit in South Carolina and Mississippi and Alabama. He just trying to do his job and they end up on a tree. So the Lord said, hey, I have devised evil against this family, that they're not going to be able to pull their necks out of the noose. And that's this destruction that's coming to America. World War III. That's the noose that now you're caught up in, and there's no turning back. You're not going to get out of it. Neither shall you go haughtily, proudly, for this time is evil. So bad times is coming to America. God damn, that bug beat the shit out of me, man. That shit done raised up. I'm itching like a motherfucker, man. Dang. Yeah, Satan was pissed off with something I said. It is what it is. The show has to go on. And that day, shall one take up a parable against you, and a lament with a doleful lamentation, and say, we be utterly spoiled. So what's coming to America? Death and destruction. He had changed the portion of my people. How had he removed it from me? Turning away, he had divided our field. So the Lord's going to recompense them with what they did to the Israelites first and foremost, but all the other nations. That's the reason why the Israelis was fighting against the Palestinians, because they wanted their land. Dividing the fields. When the land don't belong to neither one of them. That's our land, which are the biblical Israelites. But that's what the Lord is doing. He has them fighting against one another because he's getting ready to root both of their asses up out of the land. And it's going to come by thermonuclear fire, World War III. And that's what he got you gearing up for. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 9 again. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. And we just got what that covetous man do. Oppress a man, steal his land, steal his heritage. For such an one setteth his own soul to sell. So Esau already sold the birthright. He already sold out to Satan. But now he's trying to draw back on that deal. You can't make a deal with the devil and then come out unscathed with your life. So now you got to pay the piper. Esau, Edom, the so-called white people. You sold that birthright already. And we're going to get it. Because while he lived it, he casted away his bowels. He's a lowlife, scumbag, And that's what Trump is calling the Iranian nation, when he's really the scumbag. And let's go back to that point to where his forefather sold that birthright. Genesis chapter 25. And we're going to start it off at verse 27. Birth of Esau and Jacob. That's what we're going to get into. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, still to this day. Hell, even my boss on my job, I walk into his office, he's got deer heads hanging up, because that's what they like to do. They don't hunt to live, they live to hunt. They kill for a sport. Bear hunting, deer hunting, coon hunting, nigger hunting. Yeah, they'll hunt your black ass too. That's what they call it, hunting season. It's time to kill a nigger. That's what happened in Mississippi. That's what happened in all these different states across America when a nigger end up missing. A man of the field. He like to be in the forest. They like to skydive. They like to mountain climb and wonder why they get attacked by wildcats, mountain lions, alligators, crocodiles. You shouldn't be in the goddamn swamp swimming with animals, but that's what Esau is. A man of the field, a daredevil, like to play with his goddamn life, like to walk up to goddamn wild beast and pet him and wonder why his goddamn arm get bitten off, get in the ocean with sharks and swim. This nigga is crazy, but he's a man of the field, like to be outside in nature, but he's fucking up nature. And Jacob was a plain man. Who does that sound like? The blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You give a nigga a woman and a little strong drink, he Netflixing and chilling. He trying to get his rocks off. He at the house kicking it, laid up, booed up, that's what they call it. You give a Latino some hand tools and a Corona, he gonna build that house and then take his ass home. He's a plain man. You give the Native American Indians some of that fire water, that strong, that liquor. Hey man, they gonna be inside the tent. They gonna be outside dancing around the fire. Plain man. Meaning it don't take too much to make us happy, man. We live a simple life. Esau, remember, he's a daredevil. He got to skydive. He got to go to the Twin Towers and climb on top of that bitch. Ain't that what those two couple did? I don't know if that was in New York. They was getting ready to get engaged or married, and they climbed all the way the fuck up there, which is crazy. But Jacob, he's a plain man. He ain't finna do all that crazy shit and play with his life. Jump in the swamp with alligators and swim. Go deep out there in the ocean with the sharks. Go inside of the zoo and say, let me in the cage with the lion. He likes me. Ah, help me! Get me out of his grip. That's the Edomites. They're crazy, man. Oh, this alligator is cute. Meanwhile, you got your poodle right there, and the alligator snatched the poodle, and you trying to fight with the alligator to get your goddamn poodle. Why the fuck you that close to the alligator? That's these Edomites. They're dumb. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. So Esau used to go hunting, catch deer, and cook it. And Isaac loved that deer that Esau used to cook. But Rebecca loved Jacob. Don't that sound familiar? Mama, you called Jacob the mama boy. Still to this day. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, they love their mother. They don't give a damn about their father. Let an athlete sign a multi-million-dollar deal. Guess what the first thing he do? Go buy his mama a nice ass house. What about your father? He ain't nowhere in the picture. Because Rebecca loved Jacob. And Jacob side pottage. So this time, Jacob, he cooking. Some soup, some chili. And Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Meaning, he didn't catch no venison that day. He been out there all day, he tired as hell. Hungry, thirsty, just want something to eat. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, meaning it was uncooked. It was still cooking. It was red still, bloody. Does that sound familiar? On how these Edomites like their steak? Hell, they even eat sushi raw, uncooked. For I am faint, therefore was his name called Edom. So what does Edom mean? Red. They're not really so-called white. The blood shows forth through their skin. Here in the South, we call them rednecks. Because they stand outside in the sun for too long, that's what color they turn. They get sunburnt. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. You hungry, right, Esau? Well, give me your birthright. Since you're the firstborn, it belongs to you, but I want it. And Esau said, behold, I'm at the point to die. I'm about to die of hunger. These damn devils, they can't fast. They can't go an hour without eating, man. That's why you got fast food all over America. That's why you Americans are obese. You eat around the clock. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? I don't give a damn about this birthright. I'm hungry. I want it right now. Hell with what the future got to hold. I don't know if I'm going to see the future. That's pretty much how he was thinking. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore. So he made a vow, a promise, that it's yours, Jacob. Just feed me. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob, a lowlife. Sold his birthright to Jacob. They say we stole it. No, you sold it fair and square. You wanted to eat, right? And that's why Jacob's name is called Yahweh, which means supplanter. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. So he didn't even think about the birthright. He just got up and, hey man, I'm good. Not knowing what he did. Gave away his birthright. Thus Esau despised his birthright. He didn't give a damn. I don't give a fuck that, you know, I'm just hungry right now. That's how he was thinking. Thinking rationally. Carnally, fleshly. Esau's not a spiritual man. And that's the reason why the Lord said this. Since Esau despised his birthright, which is the Edomites' forefather, so-called white people, Hebrews chapter 12. And verse 16. Least there be any fornicator. And a fornicator is spiritually when you're an idol worshiper. You're an idolater or a spiritual adulterer. Adulterer. Spiritual fornication. You worship another god. Or profane person outside of the temple. That's what Esau is. He's vile. He's filthy. As Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. He was the lowlife that sold his birthright. So what is Esau trying to get the Israelites to do here in these last days? Take this mark. Give up your birthright. Because they know that if you take that mark, you're going to be destroyed. So Esau's trying to get his birthright back. Verse 17. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. So now Esau, since he despised his birthright, he's now rejected of the Lord. For he found no place of repentance. So there's no way that the so-called white people can repent and get back in the Lord's good graces. Though he sought it carefully with tears, and it don't matter how much you niggas, you spicks, you savages get teary-eyed for this goddamn devil. You can't save him. There's no repentance for Esau, Edom, the so-called white man or woman. So back to Ecclesiasticus. Now that we got and know who that lowlife is, that sold his birthright. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10. And verse 10 now. The physician cutteth off a long disease. What is that long disease? What is the number one killer here on this earth right now? Cancer. And that's what America comes in the form of. It's the cancer of the earth. That Babylonian juice has spread it to the four corners of the earth. And now the Lord has to bring the physician, the doctor, the healer. And he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. And this is where we'll end it off at for the sake of time. Like I said, I'm getting ate the fuck up out here. But let's get some precepts real quick. About that long disease. And then we'll get who the physician is. Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 51. And we're going to start it off at verse 5. I'm itching like a mother. Damn, these bugs are tearing me up, man. I thought since it was hot outside, I'd be good. Hell no, they ain't playing no games. Because it was raining earlier, and that's probably the reason why they're so bad right now. It was pissing rain early. Shit. Jeremiah 51 verse 5. For Israel had not been forsaken, so the Lord ain't forgot about Israel, nor Judah, so-called Negroes, the head tribe. Our Lord and Savior is a Judite of his power, of the Lord of hosts. Though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon, which is spiritually, mentally, coming out of the different philosophies, the doctrines, the way of living of life, the religions, the traditions. Give it up. Flee. And deliver every man his soul. So what does Esau want? He wants your soul. Take that mark. He wants his birthright back, baby. Be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He's getting ready to pay this nasty whore back. He's getting ready to penetrate her ass with missiles. He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Wealthy, rich, living lavishly. That made all the earth drunken. Remember that Babylonian juice. The philosophies, the doctrines, the way of living of life. Their democracy. The nations have drunken of her wine. They took them in. Therefore, the nations are mad. They took these deals America gave them and realized that they really been fucked over. That Esau is really the scum of the earth. Babylon is suddenly falling. What happens when you're mad? You go crazy. That's what the Iranians are getting ready to do. Babylon is suddenly falling, you see? And destroyed. How for her? Take balm, which is in medicine, a healing ointment for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. What happens when you have a long disease? You're looking for a cure to be healed. So what's Sirach speaking about that long disease? Babylon, which is America. Verse 9, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. America's not going to be healed. She's got too many wounds. Forsake her and let us go, everyone, into his own country. All of these other nations, they see the collapse of America. They're shutting up shop, which is making more jobs leave America. And they're taking that wealth back to their own country, which is collapsing the American economy even quicker. Forsake her and let us go, everyone, into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the sky. So what the wicked works and inventions of America has went up to the Heavenly Father, because he's been making inquisition, watching this place with the angels. Riding Willie down the damn expressway, both ways. He just went that way. Now he going back that way. On the back wheel. Shit crazy, man. Verse 10, the Lord had brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our power. That's what we're doing right now, making it known. Make bright the arrows, the nuclear missiles, code word. Gather the shields, the armory. The Lord had raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. The modern day Medes are the Russians. For his devices against Babylon, to destroy it. So the Russians are going to destroy America with their devices. Satan 1 and Satan 2. ICBM nuclear missiles. Because it is the vengeance of the Lord and the vengeance of his temple. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Sleeper cells. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchman. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord had both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. O thou that dwellest upon many waters, the Statue of Liberty. America. You got the Atlantic Ocean, the Pacific Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, surrounding America. Many waters, abundant in treasures, rich, wealthy. Thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. Who was that covetous one? Esau. He's the king of Babylon. The Lord of hosts had sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with man, military man, sleeper cells. As with caterpillars. Caterpillars do what to your crops? They devour them. And they shall lift up a shout against the Allah Akbar, or that chant that the Iranians is chanting, which is death to America. Now let's get that physician who's coming with healing in his wings. Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. You ever had an oven turned all the way up and then open it up to put the food in there, and that wall of heat hits you? That's how that day is going to be, which is the besom of destruction, the nuclear radiation that's going to be obliterating America. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, when a woman fell asleep and had that vision, that day that's going to burn like an oven. And all the proud, we're proud to be an American, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, burnt up, ash to ashes, dust to dust. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. How does the tree spring up? Through the roots. And then it creates branches. And that goes into Esau's lineage. Isaiah 14. Slay son, nephew, uncle, father, brother. Verse 2. But unto you that fear my name. Who fears Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah? The elect of the nation of Israel. And that's his name. Shall the Son of Righteousness, the light. Who is the light? Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Arise with healing in his wings. How is he coming back? On that chariot. Every eye shall see him, which is the UFOs, the UAPs, the fathership. And he's coming back with healing and his wings, because he's the physician that's coming to cut off a lone disease, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall, and ye shall tread down the wicked, the Edomites, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, said the Lord of hosts. Meaning we're going to witness as we're getting beamed up into those chariots and get those new bodies, the healing, that the Lord is coming back with his wings. Wings do what? They fly. Angels, chariots. And we're going to witness the nuclear annihilation, the wicked becoming ashes under the soles of our feet as we get beamed up, what the Christian church calls the rapture. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him and Horeb, for all Israel, not no other nation, with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, and he already came, Abba Bivens, one west. The prophet before the coming of the great day, or the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, which is World War III, the last battle, also known as Armageddon. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children. Have we not woken back up to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, here in these last days, showing you the biblical prophecy is being fulfilled? We're standing upon our feet now. And the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse, which is that fire. And it's drawing nigh day by day. So I'm going to leave it right there, Israel. I may pick back up and finish off the lesson at home tonight. And go back into the lesson, which is pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So stay tuned, and Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, and it's on to the next one. Shalom, Israel.